This is my brother, Jaroslav. He is riding in the original jersey from 1974. The jersey was ridden in the USA in 1974 in Delta, Ohio, when Dad came for the summer break between the GP races. And also the pants are original, the boots are original, and the helmet is my father's. The whole jersey stays in the museum in Sedlčany. Kostelec nad Černými lesy in Czech Republic, and we are holding the second memorial for my father, Jaroslav Falta. The track is known for, actually this is not the exact track. There was one a little bit further down in town, but they moved it here, and from, I would say, 5-7 years ago, when Josef Splavec bought this place, he's turning it into a motocross track back to its own fame. We're here tonight to celebrate my father. And you can see there is a party going on, like old style motocross, where people come the day before the race and partying.
The picture on the internet, on the Facebook, that has Martina, where is Jarda on this bike. It's this bike, and this bike is his father in Wolen.
The number should be the original from Wolen. Should be green, right? Green number.
But it's because this one is not 250.
This is 360 or 380?
Yeah, 360. The original one has it coming from the middle, and the frame is made like this up here. So the pipe goes straight. And under and that's the basic difference. Basically, the place, the original place is here, but the most famous times of motocross were over there. And I was going through all the statistics of Jaroslav Falta, and I found out that in Wolen in 1974 he lost his world champion title. Jaroslav. And gained it Moiseev. Moiseev was world champion in 1974. Since that, he didn't win he wasn't able to race Moisejev, Jaroslav, which until 1978. In 1978, in GP Austria, he did it. He was first, Moisejev was second, and some British racer was third. And this picture over here is from 1978 GP Austria. And this thing is from that time. Because Jaroslav was very shy, he wasn't show off and that kind of things that he for sure he didn't save it because it looks big. He saved it because it meant something to him.
Yes.
And we think that's it. And that's why we are preparing these big ones for every single winner from that time.
Wie viel Kubikzentimeter hat die Yamaha?
Die Yamaha 690.
690. Mhm.
Das ist die Spezialkopf, Spezialzylinder. Ich glaube auch die Hub.
Aus welchem Jahr ist das Modell?
Das ist Baujahr 78.
78.
Ja, aber diese ist schon Replik. Ja, aber es wird das gemacht in England, die Modelle. Und auch mit diesem Motorrad, die eine Fahrer aus England, ich weiß nicht welcher Name, und er gefahren die GP normal, Grand Prix, mit HL 500. Diese Motor, das ist normal aus XT, ne?
XT-Motor.
XT, aber die Zylinder und die Knochenwelle und die Kopf ist mit mehr PS. Ja. Aber ja, und dann geht die Technologie vor und dann kommt die leichte Viertaktmotor.
Ja.
Das ist so. Aber ist das Schöne?
Das heißt, das ist
etwas wie Hammer.
Also das wurde niemals in Serie gebaut, so wie es hier steht, ne?
Nee. Das ist die Serienmotor. Es ist zu wenig PS. Ne?
Ja.
Die XT-Motor, ich weiß nicht wie viel das PS, aber diese ist spezial mit größerem Hubraum. Diese Motorrad gemacht ein Mensch aus Schweiz, ne? Das ist das Ideal. Tonus? Charlie Tonus, das gemacht.
Das ist die Yamaha und die CZ?
Ja.
Und welches fährt er beide morgen?
Ja, das ist die Klasse Classic.
Ja?
Diese ist die Twin Shock.
Twin Shock. Und er fährt beide Klassen?
Beide Klassen, ja. Das ist Mr. in europäische Klassik-Champion.
Ja.
In Jahren 66 Jahre.
Welches Motorrad macht denn mehr Spaß? Die Yamaha oder die CZ?
Ja, das ist ein guter Fahrer. Er kann fahren auf alle.
Okay.
Ja, aber er hat viel gern fahren auf die CZ und Liebling ist auch die Yamaha. Er hat auch die neue Motorrad. Er hat auch die Yamaha. Viertakt. Ja. Mache ich die 450.
Und wenn er vergleicht die modernen Motorräder mit den Klassik-Motorrädern, was macht mehr Spaß? Ja. Was macht dir mehr Spaß?
Co je pro tebe větší radost, když jedeš na nový nebo na starý? To si egal.
Hauptsache 2 Räder.
My father was born up north by the German border. And then when he started racing for Dukla Praha, he moved to Prague. And right now, and he grew up, he built his house and he grew up about 30 kilometers from Prague and about 40 kilometers from here. So not far at all.
Dukla war Militär und Rotestein war das Polizei. Ja, aber beide diese Wehrgruppen unterstützen den Motorsport, aber die Dukla, das waren die besten.
There's your leader, number 77 from Czechoslovakia, Velký. Zdeněk Velký, a little wheelie and up on the berm around that left-hand turn. He likes to race in America. He came here last year and found his first fame in the American Motorcycle Association's Inter-AMA Series. Remember now, they use the Olympic scoring system. 1 point for the winner, 2 points for second, and so on in each of the 3 segments. So score 1 point for Czechoslovakia's Velký. De Stefano gets 2, Weinert 3.
But I believe 72 to 75. So late 70s and mid 80s was the golden era of CZ and Czechoslovakian or Czech motocross back then. Absolutely. Ever since then, we haven't had anybody who would come even close to what the Dukla guys back then. And it's not only my father, but there's Velký, Baborovský, Churavý, Nováček, and these guys who were able to bring home the world championship points. We haven't had anybody like that.
Dieses legendäre Super Bowl in Los Angeles.
Ten legendární Super Bowl v té Americe.
Damals hat praktisch Zdeněk Velký die Marke CZ in Amerika bekannt gemacht.
Ty jsi tam vlastně naučil Američany Zetku znát, jo?
No, tak tam, že jsme tam vyhrávali, tak se jim to líbilo, ta Zetka.
Wir haben dort immer gewonnen, also die Amerikaner magen nachher die Marke, ja.
Ja. Und was sind seine Erinnerungen? Das muss doch...
Co ti z toho ostalo v hlavě? Jakoby nějaká...
Tak pro mě to byl takový zážitek poprvé v Americe.
Für mich war das eine Erlebnis, eine große Erlebnis. Ich war erstes Mal in Amerika. Erstes Mal in Leben in Amerika.
Und das waren wie viele Zuschauer? Waren es genau 100.000?
Kolik tam bylo diváků?
80 000 na tom stadionu.
80,000 var det.
Here's Velký down on the inside. You see the front wheel get out of shape. He falls off and almost appears to be trying to tackle Weinert as he senses victory escaping his grasp.
He just seems to get more and more confidence as this event continues.
He's got perfect lines through. Oh, Velký is down. Velký has crashed again. Probably the effects of that first impact. He's shaken by it. He's out of the picture now, Ken. There's no doubt about that.
It's amazing the beating these athletes take in this sport.
It was about 20% of the motorcycle and 80% of the rider. Well, the CZ company, CZ officials, they saw, well, our CZs are still doing really well, so we must be good. But unfortunately, it was all the riders, and the riders had to sacrifice, and the riders had to compensate for what the bike was lacking, and that led a lot to crashes. You know, the bike could not hold up. You had my father had to withdraw from a first place in the 74 season, I believe, for 9 times. Because of a motorcycle failure. So you can tell the motorcyclists were not competitive anymore.
War das das größte Rennen, was jemals gefahren ist?
Byly to pro tebe ty největší závody, který jsi kdy jel?
Tak největší, bylo to něco jiného než tady v Evropě.
Das war etwas anders als hier in Europa.
No, ale bylo to krásný, něco krásného.
Das war etwas besonders schön.
It's definitely something that everybody in the U.S. remembers that was able to either be there or see it. I've had a chance to meet many fans that were actually there when they raced, and I would say that it's not the only reason why there's a fascination with Czech riders in the U.S., but it's also, I think it exacerbated the fascination that we had with everything else that was going on in the world at that time. So, yeah, I mean, I believe that the domination that he showed in the 250 class during the Super Bowl of motocross, I think definitely brought on a lot of fans in the U.S.
CZ was at one point really the best motorcycle in the world. For a couple of years, they really were. All the big names were riding CZs. But then when the Japanese came in, they were able to switch. The Czechs were, and I would say the factory kind of was still living on the fame, but it was really fading later on, so it was no more good. But CZ has a really good name. I believe my father and his generation made CZ really famous. And that's why people love it, because it comes from the heart. And the CZ riders are really hard, tough guys who trying to prove that even the old beat-up CZ still go and race.
There is a very tight-knit community in the U.S. that just absolutely loves vintage motocross and really European motocross.
The Czech riders, they were only allowed to ride CZs and nothing else. So would he wanted to ride something else? Probably yes, because CZ motorcycles at the 74, 75s were falling off and the Japanese motorcycles were coming on. He would like to switch, for example, to KTM or whatever was available, but he was not allowed to. He was, the Czech riders, they simply could not ride any other foreign motorcycles, and there is the story why.
Was he some kind of, was he some kind of jealous that Moiseyev and Kavinov could ride the KTM and he has to ride the GZ? Was there some kind of thing?
I'm not sure if jealousy was the right word, but it was highly suspicious why the Russians were able to ride KTMs and not the Czechs. It was a lot of behind-the-scenes politics where, because of a communist country, everything is so controlled that you really cannot see what's going on behind the curtain. And the riders had no say. They were told, are you going to ride? If you want to ride, if you want to represent the country, you have to ride CZs. And that was it. They had no other choice.
How often did your father race in Kostelec?
Quite often, because it was close where he lived, it was close to Prague, and it was very natural and long track. That was his favorite.
That means the main part of his training program was riding.
Was riding, also physical too, physical exercises, because the coaches in Dukla Praha, Mr. Helikar and Hřebeček, they actually put together a plan for the athletes that involved not only riding but also physical exercises. For example, in the wintertime, they would go to the mountains and went cross-country skiing. There was a lot of running. My father one time said if I was not a motorcycle rider, I would be a long-distance runner, because my father ran all over these hills and woods and forests around here for hours and hours. He was a really good runner.
Und jemand hat sie gefragt, wer war ihre beliebteste Gegner? Und der sagt Harry Evert. Und das ist die bekannte Fotos von Wohlen, wo Harry Evert durch das Ziel fährt und Falta, und dreht sich um. Das ist wegen, dass Harry Evert war intelligent und guckt immer hinten, und der hat das abgerechnet und hat der vorbeigelassen und hat sich gleich nach dem Ziel mit ihm gefreundet. Und weil die haben alle, der Pomeroy, der hat alle waren begeistert von der Erfolg, weißt. Der hat auf erste Kontrollrennen 1975 hat leichten Unfall gehabt und gleich eine große blaue Fleck am Fußen und war immer müde, immer mehr müde. Dann haben die der in spezielle militärische Klinik in Střešovice genommen, haben Blutprobe und haben festgestellt, der hat der Leber krank ist. Dann haben die, und der hat mit der Krankheit ganze diese sogenannte seine Saison der Lebens verloren. Weil die haben alle gesagt, ja, ist das nicht schlimm, die Russen sind unsere sozialistische Freunde, du bist so gut und Motorräder sind noch besser wegen der Dämpfung, du kannst nächstes Jahr gewinnen. 1975, aber wegen seiner Gesundheit und der war sehr müde. Die haben gesagt, der fährt 3 Runden und kann nicht und hat immer blaue Flecken.
Today we had over 150 riders. We started with absolutely nothing. The track was really small. We built it to this. So hopefully next year will be better than this year. And overall, I'm really pleased with the fact that nobody got hurt and everybody had a great time. Overall, I'm very happy.